Right, let's see if we can remember how to do this. Here we go. Hi! Do you remember me? It's been a little while. Yeah, it's been a while. Probably June, July? Maybe before that, I can't remember. Anyway, hello and welcome to the Country Bumpkin Creates podcast. My name is Lucy. You can find me on Instagram as country_bumps, and you can find me on Ravelry as country bumps. Alright. Anyway, it's on the intro screen. Excuse me. It's on the intro screen. And I'll put it down here possibly if I remember. Yeah. For those of you who don't follow me on the socials, you may not know I started a new job in June. I'm now a checkout chick at Tesco's. So I am only supposed to be doing 4 days a week, 16 hours. So short shifts on those 4 days. But it's been a bit mad. I'm on a flexi contract, which means they can give me any hours that they want to give me, basically. But 16 is the minimum. So I've been working quite a lot over the summer. Well, up until now, really. Covering holidays and, you know, all that sickness and all that jazz. So some weeks I've been doing like 6 days a week. And on the one day that I have off, I'm a bit like, yeah. So some days I just need to chill. So that's why I haven't podcasted for a while. Been just trying to get my groove back. But I have been crafting. I've been knitting. I've been crocheting. I've been sewing. So I've got quite a bit to talk about. But I'll probably break it down into a couple of, I don't know, or it might be just one long episode and you can just watch bits and pieces as you want. It's probably easier actually if I do it as one long episode. I will be doing a Vlogmas. I should say actually it's Tuesday the, sorry, I've got chocolate all over my finger because I've just been eating chocolate. Tuesday the 30th of November. So we'll be doing Vlogmas, but I doubt very much I'll upload every day because although this week and next week with work is fairly steady, I imagine the 2 weeks leading up to Christmas I'm going to be working quite a bit, so there might not be as much to talk about or record, because obviously I can't record when I'm at work. And if you did, it'd be pretty boring because you just see me scanning stuff behind a till. That's basically what I do, and talk to people, which I'm really enjoying actually. After years and years and years of working from home, solitary, just talking to people on the telephone, it's actually nice to be out chatting to the general public. And the Tesco that I work at is it's not a Metro, which is the small like high street ones, and it's not a massive Express. We're sort of in between. So it's really nice. It's got a really nice atmosphere to it. It's not, I've got to know lots of regulars who come in, like, you know, every week or every few days. So it's been really nice getting to know people, and everybody that I work with are lovely. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. My hair's grown a bit as well. Lockdown hair. And I just haven't had time to go to the hairdressers to have it cut. So it is what it is. I'm not liking it though. Sorry, I've got chocolate throat. So that's basically my news, really. I haven't been anywhere because we haven't been able to go anywhere. Oh, we did. We went to Harry Potter World. Nigel and I had a couple of days up. We went up because I work on a Saturday and Sunday, so I finished obviously 4 o'clock. Shop shut on a certain Sunday, so we left after I finished work on a Sunday. We booked a Travelodge Premier Inn, whatever it was called, in Watford, not far from Harry Potter Studios. So on the Monday we went into London and visited. Where did we go? It's not called Do You Knit? Knit with Attitude. Where I picked up yarn for the Stephen West Shawlography Mystery Knit Along, which I'll show you directly. If you don't know what directly means, that's Devon and Cornish for I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, I'll talk about that directly. And then where did we go? Oh, we went over to Greenwich because I've never seen the Cutty Sock or anything like that. So we went over to Greenwich, had a walk around there, had a bit of dinner, and then went back to our hotel in Watford. And then on the Tuesday we did Harry Potter World. Or Harry Potter Studios, not Harry Potter World, but Harry Potter Studios. We've been before, but since we went, it was like not long after they opened. So now they've added Gringotts Bank and the Forbidden Forest, so that was new, and they've changed a few things around. But it was really cool. Really loved. Really good day out. Spent lots of money at the gift shop, as you do, and then we came home. So that was our summer holiday. 2 nights away in, when did we go? September. But tomorrow, which I will record for Vlogmas, my sister and I are off to London for a couple of days to see Holly and Albana, who is now 4, by the way. How is she 4? How? So, and on Thursday we are going to see Frozen the musical. So excited. So excited to actually be back in a theatre because it's been too long. So yeah, we were supposed to go last October for Albana's 3rd birthday, but you know, pandemic. Then we were supposed to go in April, but the theatres obviously didn't open because we were still sort of semi-lockdown, weren't we? So eventually we're going now. So hoping that obviously we'll probably go to Oxford Street or something to see the lights and things like that. It's going to be a bit of a whirlwind visit because we didn't get there tomorrow lunchtime. Banner's at nursery, so Sarah and I are going to pick her up. Well, because Holly's gone back to uni to do a master's degree in psychology, which is exciting. She's got some good case studies in our family. We're all a bit mental. Yes, so we're going back. So we're going to pick her up from nursery, which she's really excited about. She doesn't like surprises, so we have to tell her that we're coming. Surprises really freak her out to the point where she has like a full-on meltdown. So she's really excited that Mama, which is what she calls my sister. She calls my sister Mama. Mama and Auntie Luce are going to pick her up from nursery tomorrow. So then Thursday morning, I think she's at nursery again Thursday morning. So Sarah and I are probably going to go to Oxford Street, do a little bit of Christmas shopping for a few hours, go back to Holly's, get ready to go to theatre in the afternoon, and then we're going to go out for some nice bit of tea, some dinner. Yeah, just chill at Holly's probably in the evening. And then Friday we'll probably spend the morning. I think our train back is like midday, so we'll spend the morning with the loonies and then come home. So I'm really excited. I'm just looking forward to spending time with Holly and Albana, because it's been too long, man. Too long. She did come down. Holly came down the weekend before Albana's birthday, so I did see them then. But I'm sure Banner will make an appearance on my Vlogmas, because she's a bit of a she's going to acting school on a Saturday morning. She's made for the stage, our baby. Made for the stage. She is funny. So I'm sure she'll do a little turn for you if I ask her to nicely. So yeah, so that'll be exciting for Vlogmas. Obviously there's Advent opening. I have 3 this year. I know, I'm naughty. That's what happens when you start working and you've got yarn money again. I have, of course, my precious Bird Street yarn, lovely Claire and John. It has to be done every year. And I also have a Pixie Yarns one this year. Sophie of Pixie Yarns showed her advent calendar from last year at the beginning of this year, and I said to the girls, hi girls, I said I really want a Pixie Yarns one. I was gutted I didn't get one last year, because the yarns last year were amazing, and I know Sophie's yarns, all her yarns are amazing. So, but what Sophie does, rather than doing like a pre-order, so she dyes them first, and then puts them for sale in September. Just coincidentally happened to be the day I got paid in September. So one fell in my little shopping cart, was merrily found its way home to me. And of course I've got my ever favourite advent with my girlies. There's only 4 of us doing it this year, so we went to Flock last week. Oh yeah, I forgot about Flock. Was that last weekend or the weekend before? I can't remember. What day are we today? Tuesday? No, so it wasn't this Saturday gone, it was Saturday before. So we've had our first post-pandemic Flock, and it was so lovely to see everybody. I got to hug my lovely Claire and my lovely Bex, and lots of other people. It was just so nice to see everyone again and just be a bit normal, you know, just a little bit of normality. Unfortunately Santa couldn't come and visit, which was a bit upsetting. So I missed having my cuddle with Santa this year. A lovely Di. I hope you're both feeling better, bless you. I don't even know if you watch, but I'm sure Bex will tell you that you got a shout out. Yeah, so should we go on with we've had 13 minutes of blabbering. Should we get on with the show? What are we going to do first? Finished objects. I don't feel like I've got lots of finished objects. I don't know why. I don't know whether I've just been knitting and not really achieving a lot, or I've forgotten what I finished. Oh, first thing I finished, which I don't even know if you saw this even started. I can't remember. Anyway, this is the Misurina by, I want to say Caitlin Hunter. So you've got a little bit of lace here, you've got cables, and then the colour work. And then I did there's 2 different options. You can either do it on the body, you can either do eyelets, or I did the pearl bumps. And I knit this. I started knitting one, if you remember. You may not, but don't look at the hot mess of my desk behind me. You may remember I started one in my orange, like an orangey ginger yarn from Nora George. That was previously a cardigan. but my gauge was really off. I don't know how. I went up a needle size, but I still and when I tried it on, I was like this. I could get one arm in, and then the other arm was like up here because it was so tight across here. So I blocked it. I think I finished the body, and I blocked it. And I still couldn't get it on even after. And I aggressively blocked it. So I was like, nah. So the original pattern was knit in a linen cotton, no, merino linen blend. So I thought maybe that was it. Maybe my yarn wasn't the right yarn. So I ordered this yarn. She's gonna ask me what the yarn is, and I can't remember. Let me see if I can find it in my. I ordered it from Tribe, and it wasn't very expensive. It was like £7 a ball, £7.50 a ball, something like that. Stash dash ends. I think I finished it before stash dash. Yes, I did. Right. So that means I started it. I can't. Started chevron box. That's last July. I'm just looking. I've explained before my little diary that I write everything down in. And here we go. And I'm sure I used Isager, Isager. It was the merino linen yarn, and I can't remember what the actual name of, what line of yarn it was, but it was the Isager yarn, which was merino linen, and I swatched, and I still couldn't get anywhere near. She must be a really loose knitter, because I think the gauge was like 26 stitches to 4 inches using like a 3.5mm needle. Well, I tried a 4 and a 4.5, and I still couldn't get any gauge. So I roughly worked out what my gauge was per inch, and then worked out if I want a certain amount of inches circumference, how many stitches that'll be. So if I was getting like 25 stitches and I wanted 50 inches, then I just times 50 by 25. Looked in the pattern to see. I can't do the math in my head because I'm not good at math. I looked at the pattern to see what size was nearest that stitch count, and went from there. And I did this on. I did the main body. I did a 4mm for the ribbing, and then I did the main body on a 4.5mm. And I love it. I've worn it quite a lot. It is fairly cropped, so I just wear like a long sleeved, not a long sleeved, a long vest top underneath it, with jeans or whatever I can find. And then in the winter I just wear a long sleeve t-shirt underneath it, and bung it on. So yeah, I've worn it quite a lot since I've finished it. Really enjoy it. Really lovely, lovely pattern to knit. It was quite nice because you have that body detail. It's not just hours and hours and hours of stockinette. You've actually got a pattern. This is my new favourite, Sublime Lime Diet Coke. Couldn't get it anywhere around here for ages, and then they started stocking it in work. Yes. So it is my favourite, but it makes me a bit windy, so if I have a little burp, please excuse me. So let's get on the FO train, shall we? During stash, which I did complete. And let me check my little book. I managed 10,090 meters between May and August. I didn't knit or crochet all of that within that time, but you're allowed to. It's a way of like using stash and finishing whips. So I finished 2 epic blankets. So I've shown this quite a bit on my feed. My giant granny, which I can't even get all in one shot if I fold it in half. So it's just an absolutely massive granny square. And it's all scraps. So I started this beginning of the year, or maybe last Christmas, with the advents that I'd received from the girls that year, and then I had 2 years worth that I still hadn't used. So and other mini swaps and things like that. So they all went into this blanket, and then odds and ends. And then I had this rainbow yarn in my stash. So I just went around the edge. Back to front. I just did a whole row of double crochet, or if you're in America, single crochet, and then went around and did, I think I did half trebles. Either, I can't remember. It might be a full treble. No, it's half treble. I did a complete. Then I just did a round of half trebles just to finish it off. So this lives. I've been snuggled under it like every night since it's been cold, but it lives on my footstool in there, and my boy absolutely loves sleeping on it. And when you've got animals, when you've got pets, you can't be precious about stuff. But it makes my heart happy every morning. Most mornings he's curled up on it when I get up, on my footstool, and he makes like a little nest in it, and he's snoring away, bless him. So yeah, it makes my heart happy just to see my little boy. I'm talking about cat, by the way. To see my boy all snuggled up on it, enjoying it as much as I do. The other blanket. Oh, actually, no, I've got one more. I might have to go and get that in a minute. Is this beast? So this starts in the center. Can you see? And then it's a massive parallelogram. Blankets are really difficult to show when you're short. I've only got little arms. Yeah, so this is the Parallelo blanket by Stephen West. And I used random DK, commercial DK, that I had in my stash. And it's like King Cole, and I had some blacker yarns. Most of it actually came from just like random balls from Yarndale when I went a few years ago, and one store was just like selling like random balls quite cheap, and I think I paid like 50p a ball or something like that. So, and then I just did the I-cord around the edge in black, just to frame it really. So it is all like really random colours, and again I've been snuggled under that. Hold please. The other blanket that is almost finished, is all sewn together anyway, is my Nora George Yarn's Harry Potter Club. I only did 1 year. It has extended to another year, but I've only done one. Because when it restarted, I wasn't working and I couldn't justify the money. So I did log cabin squares each month. I was a bit behind, so didn't get them finished. So it is 3 squares. So each month you've got 5 minis and the grey. So it is 3 squares across and 4 down. And I've sewn them all together, so they're all together, but I just need to decide what I'm going to do as an edging. I don't know whether I might just pick up all the way around and do an I-cord, because I think that finishes it off nicely, a little I-cord, and I'll do that in the grey. So I've got loads of the grey left. So that's 3 blankets I've finished. Quite pleased with that, because some of it, you know, blankets are a lot of work, people. A lot of work. So chuffed to bits that still ends to be woven in on this, and like I say, and then an edging to do. So that's 3 blankets done. I'm really pleased with that. What else have I got in the way of FOs that I can show you? Not a lot. I don't know what I've been finishing. A lot of my summer was finishing off the log cabin square so I could get that sewn together. Let me just have a look at my list. Yeah. Miserina, Parallelo lamb blanket. Yeah, a lot of the one night during the summer we had a fundraising evening here on the park, and there's a local comedian called Johnny Cowling, lives in Cornwall, and he does a bit of comedy, does a bit of singing. He's actually on like the local Cornwall Pirate FM radio, and he came and did an evening here. It was beautiful summer's evening we were out on the green just outside the house there, and I was sat knitting. I was knitting a hat, which I've almost finished, which I'll show you in a minute. And as he was walking through, the audience spotted me knitting and absolutely took the mick. He was like, I've never had anybody knitting at one of my shows before or anything like that. So after the show, I said to him, asked him what his favourite colour was and stuff like that. So I've knit him a hat for Christmas, and I'm going to post it to the radio station. So obviously I don't know his address and I don't want to stalk him. So he said his favourite colour was red. This is showing a bit brighter than it is. It's actually like a warreny red. Oh, I've gone wrong there, I think. Oh, so this is the violet Waffles Hat. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it makes like a real like nice beanie. It's an ideal pattern because it stretches, because it's effectively rib. It stretches, so it'll fit like most heads. So yeah, that'll be posted off to him soon with a little note saying I promised you I would knit you on, and here it is. So, as you do. But I ripped the absolute mick out of me. It was funny. I wasn't the only one there knitting either. So there was a lady over the other side that was knitting, so I sort of dobbed her in as well, and he went and took the mick out of her. Yeah, right. The next 3 finished objects are socks, and that's about it all I've got. Oh, I've got my shawlography, but it's sort of half finished because I haven't blocked it or woven in the ends or anything yet. So I've got 3 pairs of socks. These were all tubes that were cranked on my vintage Imperial sock machine. So I have a sock machine that's dated from around 1912, we think. 1910, 1912, something like that, from the records we can find. And last Christmas, Nigel bought me a 64 slot cylinder for it. So I've been cranking out some tubes from my favourite ever self-striping dyers. So this is Fab Funky Fibres. That's their label, and these are Dark Side of the Moon. So they're a rainbow, and then you get black stripe, and then this grey, and that repeats. And then these, the heels, toes and cuffs. So what I do is I just crank it a whole tube, and then I do afterthought everything. So I pick up and knit a toes, cuffs and heels. And the heel I use is actually the same as the toe. So I do a rounded toe, which can be found in the Knitting Expat patterns, which I find fits my feet really well. And so I do exactly the same for the heel. But I follow the Kirby Werby tutorial on afterthought heels on YouTube, where you so I would have I'd have 32 stitches picked up before I cut, and then but when you cut and unravel the yarn to make your stitches live again, you don't unravel the final 2 in each corner, and that just helps eliminate the holes you can get sometimes. And then I follow for the beginning of the heel, because I've got quite a high instep. I follow directions from the Smooth Operator sock by Susan B. Anderson and knit so many rounds before I start doing the decreasing of the heel. But I'm not going to tell you how many, because it's in Susan's pattern. And if you're just getting into sock knitting or something like that, the Smooth Operator sock, it's like a book. It is such a good pattern, and it tells you how to do magic loop and on DPNs. So you've got all bases covered, really. And it's a top down sock with an afterthought heel. It's well worth. It's a really good pattern. So that's those. The next ones are these amazing rainbowness. Nothing matches, because I get from Fab Funky Fibres. They're really good, and they do 50-gram skeins, which is more than enough than I need. I've got size 5 feet, and I find 50 grams is more than enough to get a decent pair of socks for me. And I can just about get 2 pairs of shorties out for 50-gram tube. So these are again Fab Funky Fibres, and this one is Big Top. So it's just a real complete rainbow. And again, random minis that I've used or leftovers for heels, toes and cuffs. And then the final pair, oh, I've got one more FO, are these, which are a take from Tiger King, and it's called Hey All You Cats and Kittens. So they're like this, like tiger stripe with some additional stripes in between, and then this orange, I don't know what it's from. I had a 50-gram cake of it, and it might be a coop knit that I've used in something, but I'm not sure. It had no label with it, which was really useful. Next FOs are absolute cuteness. So Jodie Brown, who was one half of the Grocery Girls, every year does what she calls hat vent. She creates these mini hats. She does 6 a year, and this is the 3rd year, and I haven't knit any of them before, so look at that cuteness. How sweet is that? So I have 18 done. This one you fold down, a little bit of colour work, a little faux cable, some stripes, slip stitches. Yeah, so I've knit all 18 from the 3 years, and I don't know if you can, if I swing this around here, up here. Oh, this is my living room here. We've got a beam that runs along here, and I've got some crocheted, I've got a crocheted heart garland there, and now I just put some fairy lights up for me. So what, these are going to be strung the other side. So where the crocheted heart is there, the other side of the beam, I'm going to string those up, and I think it will look really cute. So I've ordered some little pegs from the Amazons, and they should be here by the end of the week. So when I get back, I just need to either crochet or knit an I-cord. I don't know what to do, but I just need to crochet like a string or something that they can all go on. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I think they were really cute, and literally each one took like just over an hour. Some were like a bit more, but yeah, really cute, and they're great when I've done them over the last like 3 weeks, because with work being so busy, it's like instant gratification, really. I'm gonna stop a minute because I'm nearly up to my time with my recording, and then I'll be back. I'm back. So the final FO I've got, like I say, isn't fully finished yet. Well, it's finished, but I just need to weave in the ends and block it. Is my shawlography, which was this year's mystery knit by Stephen West. Oh, here she is. Like I say, it's not woven in, no ends have been woven in or anything. So you start with this like fan shape and use all of the colours in this first section. So it was 5 skein shawl, and every week Stephen put out a video, really really good like tutorial videos of, there was new stitches in here that I'd never done, and he was really, his videos are really useful about colour placement and things like that as well, or the first one. So when he initially talked to, like when he initially announced the cat and the knit long, he said you need 5 skeins, 3 like similar but a light medium dark, and then 2 that complemented, but to use like tonals or very very lightly speckled. Don't go too heavy on the speckles. I'm just trying to unearth my yarn. So when we went to London, said to Nigel, oh, I won't mind going to, I can't remember the area that it's in now, but, and he was like, why, is there a yarn shop there? I was like, maybe. So this is like souvenir yarn as well, really. So we went to knit, like I say, we went to Knit with Attitude, and I picked up my 5 skeins of yarn there. And they stock fibre spates, which is a really affordable but good, like, nice yarn. So that's a majority of what I used. So this main colour is their Vivacious, all their Vivacious 4-ply, which is 100% superwash merino. This was the blush colourway. This one was another fibre spates, and that was spiced plum. And then this bluey purple here. Sorry, I've got the main lights on because it's a really grey, horrible day. This bluey purple here, again, is another fibre spates yarn, and that's blueberry. And then the other 2 colours were Coop Knits 4-ply, which again is really affordable. Comes in 50-gram skeins. So it was this colour, which is Amolite for that colour, and then the pale blue there again is a Coop Knits, and that was Kunzite, Kunzite, and he said that you would need like full skeins of each of them, and because the Coop Knits comes in 50-gram skeins, I got 2, but look how much I've got left. I literally only went into the second skeins because of the colour placement on the border. So you did this like fan shape, and then you did these long slip stitch sections with stockinette underneath them. Then you did these I-cord loops. They were quite fun to knit, actually. And then you did some stripes and some slip stitches, and then you did some little mini welts, then some triangles, then bobbles. They weren't so fun to knit. I'm not a bobble fan. And then you did this like stockinette and reverse stockinette section, stripe section. Then there was some brioche. I love brioche. I really want to do some more brioche this year or next year. Then you did these crossover triangle X's. I didn't like them. Before the border went on, they looked really messy, and I was considering ripping them out. But once the border went on, and I think once they're blocked, they'll be better. And then this stripy border, which took forever. I was getting a bit tedious of the border by the end. But I pretty much managed to keep up most weeks, actually, except the final week, because the border took me about 2 weeks to do the border, I think. But my knitting time was limited. So, really love it. I'd much preferred this year's mystery knit to last year's, I must admit. Although I did enjoy last year's, and I did finish last year's, but I did prefer this year's. It was much more interesting this year. That's it for FOs. Whips, I don't seem to have many, or I've got a few, but not many that I'm actively working on, shall we say. I'm still doing my hexagons for my hexie blanket, but I haven't done any for a while. And I have started another crochet blanket, which I'll show you in a minute. But something that is nearly finished is I needed some like mindless roundy knitting for, you know, if you're in the car or just days where you just don't need to think about anything. So I started a Musselburgh hat for Nigel. This is a pattern by Ysolda Teague. And it's really cleverly written because it's written for sort of any gauge really. So you can use finger and weight, DK, worsted, Aran. I would say probably Aran. Yeah, probably maybe worsted. And then all the instructions are dependent on your gauge. So, and it's a double thickness hat. So basically you're just knitting a long tube. So you start with a circular cast on and increase out. And the increase is dependent on your gauge. And then you just knit a long tube. And last night I started the decreases, so I'm nearly finished. And then once it's finished, you basically just shove one end inside the other, and you have like a double thickness hat. So Nigel has his head shaved now. I did it last night for him actually. So he does feel the cold really badly on his head now because he's got like little hair. So this will be nice for him to, when it gets really cold in the winter. It has gone a bit brassic the last few days. We didn't have snow down here, but I know some parts of the country did. And this yarn is a Ted Knits yarn. This was from his Geology and Gems club, and it was the Strata colourway. And it's really nice. It's a deeper blue than it's showing, and it's not so orange. It's more browny than orange rather than what it's showing. Yeah, so hopefully that'll be finished. Well, maybe later tonight. I've got packing. I've got quite a bit to do still today, but I think it'll only need another hour or so and it'll be done. That's that one. I did start another hat for me. I ordered the Grocery Girls winter kit, which this year was with Shirley Bryan yarns in one of her deconstructed fades. So this yarn is so clever. So this is, I'm knitting the hat, which was designed by Jodie. The socks were designed by Tracy. So you get two patterns, the yarn. So it comes as two 50-gram skeins, equally matched. And I've made the brim longer because I wanted to use more of the yarn, because if you can look close, it only just goes into the pink. So I've done my brim up to here, so I'm hoping that I'll get more of that pinky bit come out. So you got that in the kit. You also got, sorry, I'll fold it all away. You also got a recipe and a holographic sticker of the Grocery Girls winter pin and a stitch marker. And I also ordered a pom-pom to go on the hat. So these are by Yarn Bowler, made especially for the Grocery Girls, and they're tie-on ones, so they've got a ribbon, and then they've got this like foam button that you feed these through the top of your hat, and then you put the ribbon through the button and tie it on, and this gives it, like, makes it really stable, because nobody wants a wobbly pom-pom on their hat, do they? No. So it means that if you want to wash your hat, it makes it a lot easier, because you can take the pom-pom off before you put your hat in the wash. So again, hopefully that'll be finished at some point during Vlogmas and I can show you. What else have I got going on? Before the MCAL started and in the summer, we got together, the girls and I got together. We met at Rachel's house, and Sophie wanted to do a neon dotted rays shawl by Stephen West. So she brought like lots of minis with her to do it, and I was like, oh no, I really want to do one of those as well. So I was a bit of a copycat, and when I got home, I went through all my minis, and I've been like collecting a few from like Somerset Yarns and Siobhan's Crafts, and I had a few neons already in my stash and stuff. So went through and came up with a palette that I liked, and started one. So that's the front. So again, this is Dotted Rays by Stephen West. So started here. Got to start with pink. Always start with pink. Went through this yarn I picked up. We went to... I didn't have anything to transition between pink and purple very well. We went to the Southern Wool Show at Newbury. When I say we, I always mean the girls and I. Sophie, Rachel and Imogen, and Soph's girls came as well. So we went to the Southern Wool Show at Newbury Racecourse. Really nice show. Never been before, but it was like the first show like post-pandemic. So we were all like, really want to go, really want to go. And we went to that. It was really lovely. Again, nice to see people. It was the first time that we'd seen John and Claire from Bird Street Yarn since February of the year before. So there were a few tears and lots of cuddles, lots of tears from me and Claire. And in Truly Hook's like bargain bin, I found this yarn. It's blowing out quite a bit. It's a bit more purpley than it's showing, but it was perfect to transition me between my pink and purples. Purple. That's just for you, Bex. Purple. Yeah. So I'm just going, so this was, that's the unicorn there, and then I just did a purple, and then I had this, and now we're into this yellow, and the rest, so once from the yellow going into mint green, because, you know, is it a Lucy shawl without mint green in it? And pink? No. So these are the rest of the colours. I can't remember what order they go in, but I did take a picture of the order because, you know, brain and all that. So I think the next one is that one. So we're going to go into the mint now, through the mints and into the magentas, and end on the magentas. Again, really easy to remember pattern. Each wedge is really simple. Highly recommend the pattern. As with all of Stephen West's patterns, they're all very well written. Talked about that. final thing is, so once I finished my giant granny square blanket, I needed another scrappy crochet blanket. So instead of doing a square this time, we've gone for a rectangle. So this will be more of a traditional blanket shape by the time it's finished. Majority of this in here so far is Lay Family yarn. What Kelly and Nick do is, with their clubs and things like that, they do their test skeins, and then any like underweight minis or anything like that, they keep to one side, and then they produce like a scrap bag. So it'll be like a 200-gram bag of various colours. So I got one a few months ago. I think it was in one of their summer updates, and I've used it to crochet some hexagons, and then what was left over is now being used in this blanket. And once I start unwrapping the advents from the ladies, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my Bird Street and my Pixie yarn one yet. I've got a feeling I know what I'm gonna do with one of them, but I haven't decided, so I'm not going to say much. I'm still thinking on it. So the advent from my ladies, what I'll do is every day I'll add the 10 grams in every day, so it'll be like a little advent project. I think I'm going to cast on some advent socks as well, again like I did last year. Find some Christmas self-striping, which I've got 3 or 4 skeins of, and I need to do that today because I can cast them on then on the train on the way up to London tomorrow, and knit like one pattern repeat a day, or so many stripes a day or something like I did last year. And again, I really enjoyed doing that. And then my sister and I both got a pair of socks. I think I finished Sarah's like Christmas Eve. Yeah, so we both got a pair of socks from the advent knitting last year, which was really cool. I call this the blanket of irony because it's being housed in my knitter bag by Stitcher's Tees, but it's crochet, and the bag's filthy because my boy lays on it as a pillow, so it's covered in cat hair, as is everything in this house. When you have 2 cats, one long hair cat, it gets everywhere. That's it on the knitting and crochet side. Got a bit of sewing. Been getting into patchwork. I don't know if I've talked about this, or quilting rather than patchwork. I got a book out of the local library. Grab it. Again, I can't remember if I talked about this before, but it's called Quilting Basics. So I got it out of the library, and then I found a second-hand copy on eBay. And each chapter is like a little workshop. So you go through basically starting from the basics of just cutting squares and sewing them together. So the first project was a table runner, which I've completed, and it's over there, and I'm not going to, because it's got ornaments and stuff on it, and I couldn't be bothered to take it all off because that would mean I also needed to dust. I'm doing that today. And then the second project was a sashed 9-piece quilt, which is supposed to show you how to, or you're supposed to learn how to accurately cut. Heavy emphasis on the supposed to there. So it's a 9 patch square, and you make 20, I think. Oh, sorry, earthquake. Which are supposed to be all the same size. Again, heavy emphasis on the supposed. And then accurately sewn together. Well, Lucy gets lazy after a while, and I thought I was accurately cutting, but come the end, I think some of mine were slightly out. So I just used scraps of what I had in my stash, and then I just got some white, plain white quilting cotton for the sashing. So, and this fits, we've got a king size bed, and this fits our king size bed. So you can see all the different colours. I'm not going to show you too closely because some of the lines don't match up properly. Some go like that. But for somebody who's never quilted and have a contemptuous relationship, is that the right word? Relationship with my sewing machine some days, can be a bit of an arse. You know sewing machines. And then I got some of this. We've got a really it's one of those like Aladdin's cave of shops. There's 3 stores in Devon and Cornwall called Traeger Mills. Now, if you've ever been on holiday to Devon or Cornwall and never been to a Traeger, you've never really holidayed in Devon or Cornwall. There's one at Newton Abbot, which is the one in Devon, and then there's a big one at Liskeard, which is about 40 minutes away from me. It's one of those shops that sells everything, but it's like all end of line stuff and random. And it used to be fairly cheap, but it's not anymore. But what is cheap is their quilted cottons. Their fabrics are really cheap. They're like £3 a metre. So when we went, so me, Sarah and Mum quite often go down and like stock up on fabric. So when we went, that's where I got the white from. And I picked up this grey for the backing. And you can see the quilting better on the back. So I stitched in the ditch basically. So I sewed all my squares together and then sewed the front together. And then I've got wool wadding in the middle. Sorry, I've got a itchy eyeball. Oh, my eye's really sore. And then I used this grey on the back, and then for the binding I used this black and white polka dot, which again I got from Traeger, and I machine sewed the front and then I hand sewed the back. And I quite like the hand sewing of the binding on. It's quite therapeutic, and it took me one evening just to whip round. So it still needs a wash, and then it'll shrink and get that sort of crinkled look to it. So at least to go into the wash, and then it can go on our bed. So for a first quilt, I'm not upset with it. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I don't really do perfect, as you can tell by looking at me. And it's gone on our bed, and you know, I'm happy with it. For a first attempt at a large quilt, I'm really, really pleased. And so the next one is this quilt that's on the front, and this is all about cutting triangles and things like that. But I've got the fabrics, but I just haven't got the headspace at the moment to cut it. and my sewing table needs a good clear out. And my sewing machine will be going away because I'm going to put all my advents out there, I think, so they're easy to look at each morning. That's it, really. So yeah, like I said, we went to Flock, and the week before Flock, or 2 weeks before Flock, one of the two. I think it was 2 weeks before Flock. We had Stitch Fest Southwest over at Newton Abbot. So Rach, Sophie, and I went to that, and it was like literally a flying visit. We got there at 10:30 when it opened, and I left about 12ish because I had to be back. I was normally on a Saturday I work at 4:15, but that day they put me in at 2. So, and it's like nearly an hour each way. So I left about 12:30ish, and I was in work for just after 1:30. So I was able to get changed and all that sort of stuff at a leisurely pace. So that was good fun. It was nice, again, nice to see people that I haven't seen for a while. Enhance the stash a little bit more. Yeah. That's about it. So keep your eyes peeled for Vlogmas. There probably won't be an upload until... I'll probably upload our London footage Friday when I get back. Yeah, I'll probably do it Friday evening when I get back. So it'd be like the first few days of footage. Then I'm back to work on Saturday. But there'll be things that I'll be doing throughout the weeks. That'll be good fun. So it's been a pleasure to spend time with you. Sorry if it's been a bit doolally, but got to get back into the flow of podcasting. And then hopefully once Vlogmas is done, I'll get back into the habit of, because I think come January there aren't going to be a lot of hours going around in work, so I'll hopefully be back to normal. Fingers crossed, which will give me a bit more time and give me a few days off for the week to get back into regular programming. I hope you are all well, staying safe, wearing your masks. I've just been called by the doctors or had the text about getting my booster. Double jabbed, but they're allowed doing boosters because of this new variant. They've brought forward the booster. So please stay safe. Stay alert. Your country needs alerts. And hopefully we'll all be able to have a nice Christmas this year if everybody plays with the rules. Yeah, so they're bringing back mask mandates in shops and on public transport as of today. To be fair, in work, even though I'm behind a screen, I've still been wearing my mask. Because West Devon has had and still has one of the highest rates in Devon, and we were the highest in the UK at one point. Because we're a tourist area and nobody's been able to go abroad, so all the tourists have come here, so our rates have been quite scary. Quite scary, but touch wood, we've managed to escape it so far. It is what it is, isn't it? Right, before I get on my soapbox and start talking about stuff, I am going to go. It's been lovely to spend time with you. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.